Welcome to the Coaching Community Podcast, where we share stories, wisdom, and lived experiences of coaches who have shaped their profession as well as the communities they serve. Today, I have with me Brenda Baird, MCC and an ICFTN past president. Hi, Brenda. I'm so glad you're
Hi,
here.
Hannah. It's so nice to be with you. Thanks for inviting me to the podcast.
You are top of the list.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Well, we're gonna get in with just hearing from you. I don't even know how many years you've been coaching, but what drew you
Yeah.
to coaching and how did you know it was
Yeah.
the right path for you?
Yeah. So what drew me to coaching was my days in organizational development was I began to see that training alone wasn't enough for the leaders in our organization. So I was hiring coaches sitting on the other side of the desk, hiring them and vetting them for leadership. And then my budgets got cut. And the program that I had built for leadership required coaches. So they said, well, why don't you go become a coach and then you can just coach internally? And so that's what I did. And then during my first mod in training with IPEC, that's where I went for my coach training. It was like, this is a life-changing experience for me. And then that's when I knew this is what I really want to do. This brings together everything that I love about learning and helping professionals grow and the transformation that I was personally feeling. I couldn't imagine what it must be like to have a coach. So that's how I got my foot into doing this thing called coaching.
Yeah, whenever I'm training coaches, I always tell them, I dare you to try not to grow personally because you can't not become
You
a coach
can.
and not be
Yeah,
impacted by it. It's life changing. And
it
then,
is. Yeah, I often say it saved my life because in my
mm,
corporate job I was experiencing so much stress and frustration um, that that wouldn't have been a healthy place for me to continue. And so the coach training had me realize that much of my misery was happening between my own two ears. And if I could shift my perspective of things, things might be a little more, you know, tolerable for me, and indeed they were. So I can look back now on my corporate days with fondness, where when I was in it up to my eyeballs, it was so stressful and so demanding, um, and I'm grateful for it today, and I'm really grateful for coaching.
mm. How long has your coaching journey been up to this point?
I graduated from IPEC in 2015. So yeah, so since graduating in 2015, I've been coaching. I actually left my corporate job in the middle of my coach training. That's how transformational the training was for me. Finished my coach training and graduated, and then we moved from South Florida to Tennessee. And I hung my shingle out in 2015 as an executive leadership coach, and then I've been doing that exclusively since then. So, yeah, a little over 10 years now, 10, 11 years.
Yeah. So as you look at this, well, next year it'll be 12 years. It's
Yeah,
like already
well,
it's just running away from us. But as you think about your journey, what moments stand out as like the most meaningful on this
yeah.
coaching journey?
Yeah. Well, I think just being in coach training is a moment that you really can't just skip over. I mean, that's a pretty memorable meeting. But I think when I think about the journey of my career, I think getting my MCC credential was another one of those sort of monumental moments. As life-changing as training was, and as proud as I was to get my PCC, I'd gone to a level 2 program, so that I just went to PCC from there. Getting my MCC was also really quite transformational. It required a lot more of inner work on my part in order to get ready for that performance evaluation than I had originally thought. And so that would be one of those monumental things. I think being president of the chapter was a monumental moment because it really shifted my thinking from just working with clients. It can be kind of isolating, this thing called coaching. And it really had me gain an appreciation for community and how valuable that is for coaches to have a community. And many of the relationships I've built during my time as president, they're just lifelong friends now. I mean, I don't even consider them colleagues. I consider them my friends. Um, yeah. And then what happened after MCC was getting connected to the University of Tennessee and being a part of their coach training program to be the director of education for, their leadership level 2 program has been another one of those sort of monumental shifts for me, where now instead of worrying about clients and all of that, I'm now thinking about building the next set of coaches for the next generation of leaders. And so it's just this evolutionary path that I've been on, and it's really it really does feel monumental when I think about it like that.
Yeah. And such an honor to be a part of
Yeah.
the ripple effect and the development of coaches. And
Yeah. And it's just so exhilarating to be around people who have an interest in coaching. I don't know, there's just something special about hanging with coaches. I always feel so inspired after spending some time.
yeah, I can't say no to
Yeah.
hanging out with a coach. I'm like, sign me up.
That's right. Yeah, that's
Oh.
right.
Well, in
Yeah.
this evolution you've experienced on your journey, what have been some of the challenges that have shaped you?
Mm, challenges. I think originally when I got into coaching, there wasn't a real awareness of coaching. So you had to spend a great deal of time trying to explain it and tell people what it was. And although I think that was a growth moment for me to be able to refine how I describe those things and work with clients, I think we're entering in one of those more challenging phases right now with the introduction of many technologies into the coaching space. I think it's hard for change to occur, but it is changed. It's not going to change. It's changed now. And so AI and other technology companies that have entered the market have changed coaching. And I think for some coaches, it makes it more challenging to make a living being a coach. All the more reason that I think the community and ICF become sort of the keystone to success in coaching is the place to get connected, to learn from others, to get education that's been validated and vetting so that you can be the best coach that you can be, because it's kind of a disruptive industry right now, and I think for some coaches that's been a little bit challenging. Yeah, it was for me. I mean, you kind of get set in your ways about how you do things, and it feels comfortable, and then new things pop into the sphere, and you're like, okay, how am I going to adapt to this one, and how do I stay competitive, how do I continue to be relevant in an industry that I think some people think that AI could replace the coach someday. I don't believe that. I think that the human coach is always going to have a place. But what I do believe is the coaches have to get more tuned into how to be the best human coach they can be. So through education and learning and doing their own inner work, how do I do it better than an AI companion could possibly do? And then an extension of that is, how do I use those tools of AI to enhance my coaching or my offerings to clients? So I think we're in one of those disruptive moments right now, Hannah.
Yeah. And it can either disrupt you and rattle you or help you grow.
That's right. Those are our choices.
Well, tell me about your time as chapter president of ICFTN. Like, what were some key moments that stand out for you on
Yeah.
that
So
journey?
when I was invited to serve on the board, Karen Nash was the president at the time. She was coming in on the heels of Joanna Williams, which was right in the middle of COVID. So the chapter itself was in a real uh, moment of making a decision. I mean, we were at a crossroads, and Joanna made the absolutely wonderful decision that we're going to move to having our chapter meetings on Zoom. We're going to keep the doors open, and we're just going to move forward and get through this thing. It changed the landscape of the chapter forever. And I was always grateful for her leadership in that moment. And then Karen took that and just took it one step further and just expanded on how the use of having technology in the chapter could grow our membership and increase our outreach. So helping her as the incoming president during that time gave me a lot of experience into how the chapter worked, the inner workings of the chapter, where we had opportunities to grow. It was so wonderful to be able to celebrate her chapter award, when ICF awarded the chapter that award. I mean, it was just a real celebratory time. And then when I began my role as president, we were getting some indications from ICF Global that chapters needed to dust off all of their governance, their policies, all of their backroom processes, that we all needed to sort of get in better shape. And when it came to that, it was time to review things and get things in order. So we adapted a new piece of technology called Boardable that the chapter uses, and it gave us an opportunity to organize ourselves in the back room. So a lot of the work and the progress that I think we made during my time as president are things that weren't quite as visible to the chapter members, but certainly made us operate more efficiently. And it allowed for Anna then to take that and then move into developing a new website and all of the beautiful things that Anna has done as president. So it's just been this evolution of growth that and then also during my time as president, we saw tremendous membership growth. The membership growth was really great. We attributed some of that to an activity that we did once we started to come out of COVID and we started wanting to come back together live and in person. We didn't want to abandon all of the success we had had with our virtual chapter learning and the ability to have board members could sit anywhere in the state and become a part of the board. And we were getting leadership that had really diverse perspectives about what coaches needed across the entire state. But we went on this thing called the listening tour, and it pops up in my Facebook feed all the time. I don't have the heart to even get rid of the photographs of us going to Knoxville and Nashville and Chattanooga and Memphis and actually meeting those coaches in person and asking them, what do you need from the chapter? How can the chapter help you? And so I really think those, listening tours helped us solidify some of the strength in the membership across the state that the chapter sees today. So I'm really quite proud of the governance enhancements and the expansion of the membership and the inclusion. At the same time that was happening, Hannah, we were seeing a real emphasis on DEIB initiatives and the idea of inclusion and belonging. And it paralleled what we were hearing at the listening tours as well. We were hearing from members, I want to feel like I'm a part of the chapter, but there's a little bit of a nucleus with where things are held live and in person. And how can you help us to feel like we belong, that we can be a part of the decisions, because when you think about belonging and inclusion, it's not just saying someone can be a member, but it's giving them an opportunity to sit at the table and make decisions about how that organization is going to move forward. And I think we did that. I'm really quite proud of it.
Yeah. And that's something affordable website,
Yeah.
everything that's been set up, like, for example, our affinity groups, all of that.
Yeah.
I know being on the inside, I see the work that must have went in to setting
Jennifer
it up.
Gamble was, she was the treasurer. She was the treasurer with Karen, and then she agreed to serve as treasurer during my term as well. She totally overhauled all of the finances of the chapter, got us organized and tracked better, and created processes and procedures. I mean, the work she did was incredible. And then she too had an interest in DEIB and got involved in working those initiatives alongside of her treasurer responsibilities. So a really dedicated volunteer, which is why she won the Pat White Service Award that following year, because she just did so much hard work. Yeah. That's the one thing I learned in all of it is you can't do it by yourself. You've got to have others who can see it too. And man, we had a fantastic team of people on the board and the volunteers that helped make all those things happen.
Brenda, I just want to acknowledge you were someone that really truly celebrates and sees other people. It's been a theme
Oh,
I've seen just even in this interview, and just in other spaces you show up in. So thank you for, well, you're leading from within. You're being
oh,
such a voice in this space. So thank you for
oh,
modeling
thank
that.
you. Thank you for saying that, Hannah. That means a lot to me. Thank you.
Oh. Hmm. Oh, well, as we think of the future, like, I mean, as we're talking about 2077's around the corner, here we are 30
Oh,
years of our chapter. Like,
yeah. Wow.
what excites you about the future of the chapter, the future of coaching, your future as a coach and a
Yeah,
coach
yeah.
educator and leader in the space?
I think the thing that excites me the most about coaching is coaching's accessibility and the awareness of coaching in organizations that coaching is bringing a value. Not that it's there to fix people, but there to enhance or progress people's leadership. That excites me to no end. And yeah, and what will that mean for the future of coach education? And when I start thinking about that and seeing coaches entering the coaching industry at a much younger age, then it's not just once you get through a career and you're ready to retire you become a coach. That's valuable. Certainly that's the chair that I sit in, but I'm really excited about seeing young people have an interest in coaching, and I'm really excited to see what that does to change perspectives and the way ICF is governing us and the way our chapters evolve. So yeah, those two things.
Yeah. I
Technology.
imagine, what if everyone had
I
coach
dig
training?
technology. Yeah,
What was that?
I dig technology. So technology is always gonna excite me. But I think those two other things are the
Hmm.
future of coaching is going to be in the next generation of coaches, and I'm
Yeah.
excited to see more people get involved, and that the awareness of the value of coaching is just it's growing.
Yeah. Which is
Yeah.
so exciting to see. And I agree with you. I'm seeing younger people like as my first career, or just even learning coaching as a wing of being with people as a leader, not maybe doing coaching full time, but it's an
Yes.
essential skill set that I don't know anything that wouldn't be better with just even empathy and curiosity.
Yeah,
With
yeah.
this,
So many of my clients, that leaders that I coach, after we've coached for a while, they will often, most of them will say, "Can you teach me how to do this coaching thing with my team?" Like a coach approach to life is I don't know, it just works and it's powerful. And once you experience it, you realize it's the veracity of which people can grow. And yeah, the awareness of it is it's awesome.
Brenda, I'll just say it. Coach Approach to Life sounds like a really good book title.
Yeah, it could be. Could be.
Could be, could be.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
Well, as we move towards the end of our time, I just love to open it up for you. If any advice or wisdom you would love to pass on to coaches in our
Mm,
community and beyond, whether they're just beginning or they're well seasoned like you.
yeah. So when I when I'm mentoring coaches today, the wisdom that I just want to pass on to them is that I understand if you have made a decision that coaching is going to become your profession and you need to make a living doing coaching, I get the urgency that one might feel around gaining a credential or building a client base, so on and so forth. But if I could make wave a magic wand for them, I would say don't rush your development. Just take your time. Do the inner work that you need to do as a coach so that you can show up being the best coach that you can be. My experience is that certainly I learned a lot of skills and I had a lot of really wonderful training throughout the years. But I think today when I look at my coaching, I realize one of the things that really shores it up and keeps it evolving and me evolving is the continual inner work I do to show up free of biases, free of judgment, to really be present and to really listen. And that takes time to do. So I get the urgency behind making a living being coach, but if they could just slow down for a minute, don't rush your development, just, do it as it needs to come. I think they'll be all the better for it. Yeah. And don't forget community, because you really can't do this thing alone. You really, really do need community. You need to be involved where you can partner with other coaches, you can learn from them, because coaching can be a little isolating when it's just you and a laptop and a desk, across, a screen from someone. So, don't forget about community.
Mhm. Grow inward and don't grow alone.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. Well, I
Beautiful.
just want to thank you again so much for your wisdom, your presence, your time, and sharing your wisdom with us. Is there anything
Mhm.
else you want to say for this time to feel complete? You can say if you need to say anything else you want to say.
I'm grateful for my opportunity to lead the chapter. I'm grateful for this podcast and the continued expansion of ways for us to reach out to coaches. And it's been just a joy to watch all of the progress the chapter's made. So congratulations to you, Hannah, and Anna, and the board for all that you're doing. And I'll see you at the conference, right? There's a conference coming up.
Yes, save the
Yeah.
date for the conference. I'll get to,
Good.
I feel like I haven't ever gotten to meet you in person, so I can't wait.
Let's do it. We'll have a coffee.
Or two.
Or two. Yes.
All right, I'll go ahead and end us here.